What is up, guys? Kane here, and in this one, we're gonna talk about the custom utility boxes and what you should be picking from them. And we're gonna talk about whether or not some of these rewards should be picked up or not. We're gonna go through majority of those options. So let's get right down to it. Let's drop off like 90% of the, I suppose, selections just off the bat. So you will not want to select the scrolls, the books, the draconic, the forge firestone, astral stone, imbues, scroll scrap, the pet experience, the potential potions, as well as I do believe that's it. Now, I would highly likely not suggest picking the rare prism crystals as well. So I kind of drop off majority of them, but there are a few nuances where the other ones will be good. Now, why did I drop off majority of them? So you're like after you play the game or during your playtime, these are the features that had been in the game for a while. So this one, you're gonna be able to farm tons of them, and then you're not gonna have anywhere else where to spend them. Otherwise, it's just fake core, and you're gonna be getting a ton of them. Draconic Dust, the thing is, you require millions and billions of them. So probably in a new server, it's okay, but as you play the game, it's just not worth it to select it from this specific box or the custom utility box. We're gonna talk about that a bit later. The rare prism ones, it's not really that efficient. There are a lot better choices in terms of the rewards than what you actually see here and are able to take. Forge Fire, the same as Sutra Scrolls and books. Astral Stone is the same thing, just different resources. Imbue is the same, just different resources. Scroll Scrap, again the same, you're gonna be getting tons of them. And I nearly maxed out this feature without just even selecting anything in terms of this one. And you can just pretty much finish majority of the abilities in about half a year, 7 months of playtime. And if you're actually looking into play this game or spending money, you're likely going to be getting a ton of them now. So just selecting them, it's not really worth it. Same for pet experience. Kind of seems like the pet is not really that much of a difference maker. Now, potential potions, this is a fairly new feature. So why would you not select this? The thing is, we're getting the other custom boxes and a ton of them. So you can just select it from here. And I do believe that this box doesn't have the other features, doesn't have better rewards and stuff like that. So you might as well just grind the potential potions or so. So that is currently the decision on the potential potions. And that's pretty much it, the ones we dropped off. So we did not drop off 5 of the resources that we're gonna be talking about. So first things first, the prism crystals. Now it's not like at the top of the list, right? But it could be a decision because again, you have a ton of prisms. You have to level them, especially specific ones like say arrays that you place on the field, which have specific bonuses like Draconic Defiance, keeping your dragon alive with high resistance. You have other arrays which buff your entire field, like off the bat, I can say, I think Shamanic, Warrior, Protector, Shield, something like whatever. There is like 15 of them, and I can't really recall properly. But you're gonna require a ton of prism experience. So this will not drop off. However, this is not at the top of the list. So likely this would be like the 4th, maybe 5th choice on your list. Depending on your server, what you require and stuff like that. As well as I have not dropped Relic Chests. Now, quite a few people have actually finished the Reliquary, personally, I have not really finished it. I still have like one more level to select, as well as I have a like just a not a ton of the legendaries, but I kind of still need to upgrade some specific ones. So, for me personally, it's not actually efficient to get this, right? And for quite a few other people. But since I'm making these videos and a ton of people are watching them and watching them from earlier servers as well, something like this could actually bring a decent advantage for people because, again, you're gonna be maxing out those relics rather quite quickly. They give a ton of stats, they have a lot of field wide buffs for heroes, for army, for dragon, for defenses, special abilities that work on your entire field, and all that kind of stuff. And essentially, this could be one of the choices in the early game, which can literally skyrocket another one's account. Again, depends on luck, as do many things, whether or not this will benefit you well, or pretty much decides as a factor where you could have just selected basic resources and actually upgraded a bit better than relying on RNG. This is basically like the bloom boxes and selecting rare prisms, right? I had selected 800 boxes of rare prisms and I got 0 true, prisms. And somebody picked up like 3 of them from 50 boxes. So there are nuances there where it's not that good or efficient, but again, if you rely on your luck and your early server, this could be an option. And now we have 2 new features which took them quite a while to actually add for people to be able to access them. So there are 3 choices. Basically, 2 of these choices are for the same feature, for equipment, for reforging, changing stats and stuff like that. And then we have a new feature for the armory. So quite a lot of people are talking about selecting the Covenant. So we have to pretty much judge which one of these will benefit you the most. And pretty much like both of these selections are the top 1 and the top 2 on your list, and likely pretty much anyone else's list. I'm not even sure if early game would kind of matter on this one. You still kind of want these resources even if you're early, because something like Armory actually has a pretty decent buff that increases your building speed and your research by 10%. Grants your heroes attributes, which kind of buffs your entire field if you win on stats, and all that kind of stuff that comes down into your upgrades, your additional substats, and then the slots, like a ton of things in terms of this feature. And then in terms of Covenant, you have buffs specifically just for your army instead of your entire field or your account. So there are differences which you should be worrying about or thinking about selecting. So we have archers, which let's say have about 65% attack speed, 200% attack. Physical damage dealt is 122%, which is kind of good. I have 1 crit damage, I think. And I have some, I think, 2 reduced magic damage taken because I was unlucky to go full DPS. And then 1 stat that eventually I will want to change. So this is in terms of my archers. I do believe, or wait, no, they don't have physical damage in terms of here. No. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the archers. As you can see, all of them are legendary awaken. I didn't really spend any boxes for covenants from I suppose ever, or the patch was like just a few days ago or so, so I didn't really even have a chance to spend on it. Majority of this was just grinded from either Lucky Wheel, Bazaar, or any other event that we had, or even daily stuff. And then we have the frontline, which is buffing a ton of resistances, like reduce physical damage taken 41, reduce magic 65, and then reduce damage taken, which is both physical and magic damage, by 70%. So a ton of resistances on my front line. So we have to talk about what do both of these features bring to your account, which you should be working towards. So Covenant basically will make you, or rather your front line, tankier for PvP. So if you select this and work on this, your front line will be tankier in PvP. It will probably give you more chances to win, say, Minds of Mayhem, will give you more chances to win in-realm PvP, Dual Tower, in terms of those variety of rewards. And in realm could be like securing king, could be securing Imperium, all that kind of stuff. For archers, if you go in terms of Covenant, you could likely have a better chance to win events, secure more Linari, also all that kind of stuff. Basically, just building towards army and trying to win PvP or events and stuff like that. So, the armory, however, is not, or I don't think it's a lot more impactful in terms of like the field wide stuff as the Covenant is with its own buffs. However, it still does have a decent impact in terms of the field. Again, I'm not entirely sure if it has more of an effect than, say, Covenant. However, I would kind of deem Armory as like, you know, those kind of libraries or collection stuffs you have in games or museums where you just gather stuff and you just slowly upgrade. Armory does seem to me like a sort of a similar thing like that, where you're not going to get a ton of cast iron, or we're not able. So achieving the Furnace 5 took a like months. Now it's probably gonna be very quick, but I kind of would honestly suggest to get Furnace 5 before anything else. Building speed removes a ton of rushes that you might be able to save for research, for building, depending how long you're gonna play. And that stuff usually tends to win a lot more events, PvP, and all that kind of stuff as you go forward into the game. So, a lot of stuff kind of makes it into plenty of things, and heroes do matter in PvP, heroes do matter in PvE as well. And playing 1 year and a half, and my research still kind of looks pretty bad in comparison to somebody who spends money or even is free to play. That's because I don't really, how can I put it? I had different focuses in terms of mages. I almost maxed out entire mage research till tier 16. Then I focused gladiators tier 15, 16. And pretty much the other two were just left behind. So there are nuances here and there which could be better. But honestly, I would highly suggest Furnace 5 in terms of cast iron and all that kind of stuff as a top priority. And after that, pretty much depends on you whether or not you want to just go for more PvP in terms of trying to get Divine on frontline, PvE if you want to faster get Divine on archers, or you just want to overall grow your account in terms of armory for additional buffs and stuff like that. The good like tier breakthroughs and all that kind of stuff is just gonna come even half a year later, so it really depends. Majority you just go for those tiny breakthroughs which will benefit you now and faster and better and make you save resources or stuff for the future. So basically that was my take on it. These are the few choices. Personally, what I have done, majority of these boxes went into the armament ground, and they went into the one moment, the fine steel. However, or rather, they went into cast iron, and I think a small portion of it, like 10-20%, went into fine steel because I started missing them to upgrade the equipment. And yes, that kind of happened. So yeah, that is what you should be focusing. And do keep in mind, again, do keep in mind, you have to save about 200,000 cast iron for the dice event. So what I suggest is you either keep 150,000 cast iron in inventory, or you keep some boxes for whenever the event appears or passes, just so you don't randomly mess yourself over. So yeah, that is my take on the utility boxes. It is a good thing that the developers did it like that, but I would have a little bit of like other thoughts and talk about it, that some of these boxes are like going in terms of rotations, and it kind of makes either a few events pointless, even pay to win events pointless, even packs pointless. I mean, I understand that, say, they want to give stuff to people, but essentially, the way they're updating the packs, the events, it kind of is pretty friggin' random, regardless if it is good or not. So I'm happy for this change, but I'm still a little bit bummed in terms of the, I suppose, the greater ability thing. But, what can we do? Anyways, that is pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. As well as if you would wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where you would be able to do just that. And in return, I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of events, PvP formations, and stuff like that. As well as I would like to thank all of my patrons for the support. I really, really appreciate it for your subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.